we're talking about inputs and outputs. And I was having lunch with my cousin yesterday, and he talked about, we were at Sagret, so he was talking about how the owner of Sagret owns the farm where the goats come from. And it was really interesting to hear because he was talking about how, because Sagret has the best meat, it's known to have the best meat by those who love meat. So he was talking about how the goats come from their farm and everything. And it made me realize, it took me back to something my business coach was talking about when he watched this show. I think it's the chef, one of these chef shows. And the best chef was the one who was very meticulous about the ingredients that went into the food, to the point where he decided that in order for him to control those ingredients to perfection, he would have to grow them himself. So he actually started a farm where he would grow, all the herbs and everything, the vegetables and all, and control, and even the meat. Like, he would control the meat, the quality of the meat, by making sure that he breeds the best cattle. And this guy is like one of the top chefs in the world. I think that, it's one of those Michelin, I don't know how many star restaurants, like one of the best. But he controls what goes in, not just what comes onto the plate. So it's about inputs and outputs. How much are you controlling what you're putting in? Because a lot of people are more focused at measuring what they're putting out. So they're more focused on measuring the results. So, for example, if somebody is looking at losing weight, they are focused at measuring, every morning they step on the weighing scale and they're checking how much weight, whether it's gone down. But they're not measuring in the same way the inputs that are going in. So somebody eats like an apple pie for dinner, and then the next morning they're measuring the scale. So they're looking at the outputs, and that's where they're focused on the outputs. But then the input was the apple pie. So that determines the output. And in business, it's the same thing. If you focus a lot more on what is coming out, and more often than not, it's the revenue or production. So somebody is very focused at how much am I producing per minute, per hour, per day, how much am I making in terms of revenue. But all those are outputs, not inputs. So if you haven't built in the right systems to manage your inputs, then the work you're doing around measuring the output is pointless. It would make much more sense for you to build in the right systems for the inputs, to measure the inputs, to ensure that the right inputs are going in, the quality of material, the quality of employees, all those are inputs. And then the outputs are taken care of, because then the production is better and the quality of what you're producing is better. And then with that, of course, comes more sales, which comes more revenue. So if you're a business owner and you're focused a lot around your outputs and that's what you're measuring the wrong thing. Start looking at measuring the inputs. Start looking at how you're going to measure, what systems you're going to build in place to measure the inputs, to control the inputs. The outputs will take care of themselves. If somebody is trying to lose weight and they spend a lot more time measuring, controlling the quality of food that they're getting, making sure that it's nutritious and healthy and has the healthy fats and is in the right proportion for their objective, then automatically the output will take care of itself.